Hi guys, and welcome to the Batch Lady, where I am talking about desserts. So in the Batch Lady I show you how to make fast, simple homemade meals that you can make in advance, put in your freezer and use whenever you want, so that when you are having people over, when you've got a big family meal, or even something just midweek, then you already have it prepared and you don't have to worry about it. This is something that you would have for Christmas or a big Sunday lunch, and we are talking about chocolate Black Forest roulade, okay? Looks amazing. You would think it took a long time to do. Now if you make a normal non-cheats roulade, it does take a long time to do. I am going to show you my fast, simple, easy way that tastes delicious, works every time. It's so good. I say it works every time. It probably won't work this time, but let's give it a go. So, okay, in order to make the roulade sponge, we are actually going to cheat by using my all-time favourite Betty Crocker chocolate cake mix. But this works a treat for roulades, and the reason is it makes a really soft, moist chocolate cake, which is actually quite hard to do, which means it rolls easy and it tends not to split. So we're just going to put our chocolate cake mix in, and you're following the instructions on the back of the packet, okay? That is the best way to describe it. So I'm not going to go through how to do this. The instructions are on the back, because if you buy a different brand, it'll have different instructions on the back. But I would say that Betty Crocker is probably the best brand for this. Okay, I'm going to put in, you need some water, 3 eggs, and a little bit of vegetable oil. And then we are just going to whisk that with this whisk, a couple of minutes till it's light and fluffy and all mixed through. Okay, here goes. Okay, so I have quickly whisked it around. You just didn't see me do it because my plug's over there, but it's all done and the cake is ready to go, okay? So what you want to do next is you want to get some a tin and just put some greaseproof paper on it, and what to do is just fold it over at the bit that you want to keep it in the tin, okay? Because when you're making a roulade, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to roll this out later on. You want to take a pair of sharp scissors, and at the corner you want to just cut down, not too far, so just half the bottom of your the top of your tray, so that you can just fold the corner over almost like a hospital corner. Okay, I'll try to take a photo of that and let you see what it's like, and that will help your roulade come out a lot easier and help you be able to peel it out of the tin. Okay, so like a hospital corner, you'll see it starts to sit better already, if you can see that. Now you've made a whole packet of mix, but you're just actually going to use about 3/4 of it. You're making a very thin cake that's easy rollable, so you don't want it. It's going to rise slightly, but don't worry, when it comes out it'll go back down. But if you use the whole cake mix, it'll be huge and you'll actually end up with a sponge rather than a roulade. Okay, so I'm going to put in just over half. Okay, so just over half should be plenty. And really, it's not rocket science. You might have a different size tin than me. Don't worry if you do. You're really just looking for a thin layer of the mix, evenly spread all the way along the tin. Okay, now this is going in an oven of 180 for about 12 minutes. You're just going to check it after 12 minutes and see how it's doing. Okay, because it's so thin, it's not going to take very long, so keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn, you just want it to be cooked all the way through, and it really shouldn't take long how thin it is. So 2 minutes, I'll put this in the oven, and I want to show you what I'm going to do with the rest of the cake mix. So I hate to waste anything, so with this cake mix, I am just going to put the rest on and make it into thin layers, because I want to show you something at the end, if you're still watching, that you can do with this extra piece of cake, okay? So come back to me at the end for another top tip of a different recipe using all the same ingredients. 2 recipes for 1 in this video. Okay, so I'm just going to spread it all out. And I'm going to put that in the oven. Now, while our cake's in the oven, we're going to get on and we're going to get double cream, okay? And I'll put the quantities up on the screen, should be coming up just now. I'm going to get some double cream, and I'm just going to whip this, and I'm going to open a can of my fruit filling cherry and black cherry gâteau, okay? So black cherry fruit filling is what you want from Princess, and your double cream, which we're going to whip. I'll just go and do that. We'll be back in 1 minute. Okay guys, so our sponge has came out the oven. It's flat. I've taken it out the tray and I've let it cool down. It's completely cool. Okay, so it's still on the paper, but it's completely cool. What you're going to do now is you're going to get a roll of cling film and you're going to roll it out. Okay, you're going to make it quite long, and I'm going to do it in 2 sections. So I'm going to do one, then I'm going to overlap the other one, so I make it wider. Do you see what I mean? I want it wider and longer than the roulade is going to be. Fold it back over. Now this cake, like I say, is quite pliable because of the brand that we used. Okay, it's made with oil, so it is a sort of an easier cake to work with. It's a moister cake. So I'm just going to put my cream on. Right, delicious. Now we're going to put our black cherry filling on as well. Okay, what you want to do is use your cling film as you roll. You're going to try to roll it as tight as possible. Now if it cracks, don't worry, it's homemade. Bit of icing sugar will cover everything, but let's go. We're going to start rolling. So I've got my hands underneath the cling film and I'm just using the cling film to help me roll it around, and just peel back the cling film as you go so that it doesn't end up inside your roulade. And we might end up with a bit of filling coming out, but actually there's no filling at the bottom. So I'm still pulling this along and I'm going to push it right over and then stop it there. Okay? Did you see that? So I'm using the cling film to hold it in place, and we're going to freeze this, so it's going to freeze beautifully in this position. Move the cling film back over, use the edges and twist them round like a big cracker. Okay? Now be very gentle with it. I'm going to get another piece of cling film and I'm going to very carefully lift this up and put it long ways. Okay, really I'm just double wrapping it as best as possible, dropping my cling film on the floor. Okay, I don't need it anymore. And making sure it's wrapped in that lovely roulade shape, okay? Now I'm going to put this in a tray, and I'm going to put it in my freezer, and it's going to freeze just like this. The one that you saw earlier, I had just taken the cling film off and laid it down. So when you want to use this Christmas Day or anything, take it out. Allow it to defrost. Take it out. I would take the cling film off it then. Put it on the serving dish you want to serve it, and allow it to defrost. You can defrost it overnight in the fridge if you want. And then you're just slicing it, and everybody's getting this beautiful, lovely, really lovely sort of black forest roulade. Now I promised you another recipe, so I'm just going to explain to you what I would do. Okay? If you've got some extra cake left over, which I've got here, you would have your whipped cream and your pie filling, and you can get a glass, okay, a little glass dish, and you can put in some pie filling. You could even put some kirsch in there as well if you wanted. Then put some of your double cream in, then get a little cutter and cut out these so that they're little thin rounds of sponge, and layer them up, and you literally make a trifle in a glass using exactly the same ingredients. But you can make your trifle, and you can make this the day before and keep it in your fridge if you want. So another fab easy recipe. I may even show it to you on a video if I've got time, but basically that's what I am going to do with my leftover cake mix. I hope you have really enjoyed this one. It's a bit complicated, it's not for the faint-hearted, but you make the most amazing Christmas Day dessert. Okay, thank you so much for watching The Batch Lady.